Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jason Dino and I am a photographer and video maker in Southern California. And today we are going to be talking about the 70-200 2.8. Which one is right for you? Let's jump right into it. Let's go. For the type of photography that I do, I really wanted to get a 70-200 to do things like portraits and event photography and sports, and even adding street photography into it. Having that focal length that I can get some more reach is going to be crucial, and I really needed that 2.8 so I can let in as much light that I can work with in low light situations. The biggest thing that I came up against though is which 70-200 2.8 should I buy? And let me talk to you about the options that I came up with for me, and hopefully it'll help you make a decision for you. I have a Nikon Z6 camera, and so the way I looked at it is I kind of had two options that I could go between. I could go between the Nikkor 70-200 2.8 EFL ER lens, which was roughly around $2,700. That would have to be adapted onto the Z6 with an F to Z adapter. The other option I had, and probably the better option, would be going natively. The only problem is that Nikon has not produced yet the 70-200 2.8 for the Z mount. So I would have to wait an X amount of time. I'm not sure. They say it's going to be released later on this year. And the price point is probably going to be similar to that F mount Nikkor 70-200. So my options are either spend the close to $2,700 for the F mount and adapt it now, or wait and not have the lens for, I would say, at least another 6 months, and pay roughly the same amount as the F mount Nikkor. So those were kind of my two options that I had at the time when I was looking into purchasing my next lens. Ideally, I would go with the native Z mount. With what they've been doing with the Z mount lenses, which have been phenomenal, I know that I would get a sharp image. It would autofocus very quickly. The lenses are actually smaller, and when you get a smaller lens, it's also lighter. So all in all, it would be a win-win to be able to go with the Z mount 70-200 S lens. So there's my dilemma. What do? Do I wait 6 months for a lens that hasn't really been seen, tried with, not really sure what it's going to be like? It's probably going to be pretty killer. Or do I do the F mount right now? Either way, we're looking at like over $2,500, and I don't know about you guys, but I think my wife might divorce me if I spend that much money. Is it worth it? It might be. Sorry, babe. If you've seen in past episodes, I also own a Nikon 70-200, which is a crop sensor Nikon F mount camera. The advantage of going with the Nikkor F mount would be that I could also use it on my crop sensor camera and my full frame camera. It seems like a win-win to go with the Nikkor F mount. But wait, we've only been talking about the Nikon brand lenses. There's also some other third-party ones, which is where we come into Tamron. Tamron has been making some killer lenses. Ultimately, I went with a Tamron 70-200 2.8 lens with the F mount. I did some testing with this lens. I went to a camera shop with my camera body, and I tried the G2 70-200 from Tamron, and I thought it was great. It was super sharp. It was pretty fast to focus. It's pretty light. I like the design of it, just aesthetically, and also the build quality. The build quality is really nice. I like the finish. I like the look. It does have some switches on the side for your focus, for what sort of vibration compensation that it wants to have on it. There's 3 different modes. One is specifically for panning when you're doing more sports. The other is kind of an all-around one, and I forget what the third one is. So in my testing, when I was in the store testing this out on my camera, the only real issue that I found was when a subject was walking towards the camera. It was a little slow, and I missed a lot in my focus, in grabbing focus. And I'm not sure if the lens was up to date in its firmware, and this was prior to the most recent firmware update for the Z6. So that was really the only issue that I found in my initial tests. And I think that I was willing to give up the perfect lens, which there really is no perfect lens, for this at its price point. One huge advantage that I found using third-party lenses like Tamron is the price. For this lens was retailed at about $1,300, which $1,300 compared to the $2,700, that's more than half the price. As of now, with the type of work that I do, I think I can use that extra $1,400 and use it towards something else other than pouring it all into one lens. And to be honest, there's not much of a difference in image quality and sharpness and dynamic range, anything like that. There's not that big of a difference to warrant spending twice as much. I would rather use that money to invest in my business in other ways that might be more lucrative, productive, just wiser at this stage, because I'm not going to be pixel peeping and posting things on Facebook and Instagram and even YouTube. People aren't going to notice the difference between this lens and a lens that is twice as much money. So that is why I ultimately went with the Tamron 70-200 G2 lens. It's a workhorse of a lens, and I am so happy to have this in my kit to be able to really capture some candid, real-life moments to be able to share with you and my clients. So thank you so much. All right, if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to like, subscribe. And also you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Jason Dino Photography. Make sure to write in the comments. Let me know what lens you guys have below that you guys love. Or if you have any questions about this lens, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.